2 weeks from now, DNC Deputy Chairman Keith Ellison may become the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. This despite allegations of abuse that have been leveled at him by his ex-girlfriend, Karen Monahan. Karen Monahan is a liberal. She's a Democrat. But she's also complained about the poor treatment she's received from fellow Democrats since she was bold enough to go public with her allegations. Has anything changed in the weeks since she said that? Well, Karen Monahan and her attorney, Andrew Parker, join us tonight. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker.
Thank you.
So, Karen, you had said publicly that since coming forward with your claims against Keith Ellison, that you were, in effect, blacklisted by fellow Democrats. Can you describe what you meant when you said that?
Well, I think if you look on social media, if you see some of the letters that have been written that basically say they don't believe me, the folks who have signed on, it's pretty apparent. There's been a lot of bullying. There's been a lot of harassment, isolation by many folks that I stood side by side with, supporting them in their campaigns, walking with them in various protests, work together on different issues around social justice.
Were you, I mean, that's not the reception that people who say they're survivors of abuse expect they're going to get from the left, from Democrats. Were you surprised by it?
No. I watched the Me Too movement. It was, you know, I watched both sides basically take women's pain and use it as a tool for politics. And once it came to one side or the other, you would see these same people start pushing away from it and saying stuff like, well, let's talk about the real issues. And this is a real issue.
Andrew Parker, do you think that the Democratic organization in Minnesota investigated this in a legitimate way, these claims?
No, it wasn't legitimate at all. Any objective review of it would reach the same conclusion. The Democratic National Committee kicked it to the DFL party in the state of Minnesota, who hired their lawyer to investigate their candidate for Attorney General, and not just their candidate, Tucker, for Attorney General, but a cause celeb for the Democratic Party, a leader of the progressive movement, not just in Minnesota, but nationally. The vice chair of the Democratic National Committee is who they were investigating, and they hired their own lawyer, not an outside independent lawyer, their own lawyer, and a law firm that raised over $500,000 for Democratic candidates and over $50,000 for Keith Ellison himself.
Yeah, that's not legitimate. Karen, you have said, or allegedly, there is a video that shows you being dragged off the bed by Keith Ellison, him swearing at you. Does that video exist?
Yes.
Will the public have a chance to see it?
Well, the public will not have a chance to see it. That's my pain. And for something like that, for everybody to look at and oogle over something that was very traumatizing for me, absolutely not. I would not allow the public to see it. If and when I decide to show it to somebody, it will be in my time. I mean, this is a process. And just to find the courage to come out and break my silence, as I said, knowing the backlash that I would get and knowing that this is a journey that I would walk pretty much on my own, it took tremendous amount of courage. And I had to face the same fears that so many others who have been victimized face when they decide to either share their story or not share their story. So it's also the same kind of fear that many people who actually know about this situation have known about it long before I ever shared, went public with it, why they sit silent or they're afraid to show public support. Many have been bullied and intimidated if they did come out and show any kind of public support. And I grappled with that same fear, the fear of isolation, the fear of being re-victimized.
But that's what you're not
smeared.
supposed to feel, according to the people who are making you feel that way. Thank you both for joining us tonight. I appreciate your taking the time to talk to us and tell us what happened. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tucker.